Yo, what's up guys? Welcome to IT Security Labs. Today we were a little late. I was bringing up this lab so that we can see the attacks in real time. So I was just testing out our lab to make sure that we can do the attack and detect, which is what we usually do. So thank you for joining us tonight. Appreciate everyone who is here. If you haven't, please share on our Facebook page. Let everybody know that we started our live stream. And this should be a fun machine, actually. The machine that we'll be attacking today is called blueSky. This machine works only in VMware Fusion. I tried it in VirtualBox like I normally do. It doesn't work in VirtualBox. I mean, it's unstable. IBT, it's good to see you, bro. Can you please post on our Facebook group that we started our live stream so we can have more folks join us? Yeah, but this machine does not work in VirtualBox. It's called blueSky, and the reason why I chose it is because it has an exploit, and also it has a very interesting privilege escalation. So I hope we can actually attack it together today. And as always, you know that this is no BS type of attacks. And hopefully as we do the attack, we can also see our traffic in Kibana here. This is our Secure Onion lab. And as you can see in my background here, I actually moved my lab. See the cloud back there? My lab is behind me. So if you hear a little bit of noise, that's because my lab is in the same room. So today we'll be detecting the attack traffic in Security Onion, and you should be able to see the type of attacks that we're doing. And this is what you will be working on as a security analyst or as someone who is tasked to defend an infrastructure. You have something like Security Onion with Zeek, Suricata, and all the other tools like OSEC. So yeah, this is supposed to be a fun machine, so thank you very much for being here. All right, so first part, like I said, this machine only works in VMware Fusion. So this is in my VMware Fusion locally here. And the way that I have this set up is very interesting. I'm actually sniffing this traffic to go to Security Onion, which is on a VMware server somewhere. And I'm just capturing all the traffic that is coming in and out of this interface here. Coming here. So as you can see, it's booted up. It's Ubuntu. In my settings here, I gave it Ethernet because it's bridged to my main network. So that's where it is. And my Kali Linux happens to be on the same network. And that's how we are able to attack this machine. So first, if we do a ping 192.168.38, what is my IP address for this? It's 10. You can see that we do have responses. So that's our victim machine. Since we don't know anything about this machine, let's start with a simple nmap. And that's SV, and that's SC 192.168.38.10. All right, so this is just going to do the top 1000 ports, and let's see what we find. And hi William, it's good to see you, man. Sabiti. All right, so this didn't scan. Okay. Let's make sure that we can scan this target. I'm just retrying it. SVSC. Interesting. Let me verify that my IP address is the same. I'm using Cisco Meraki this time. Actually, my IP address changed. It's 5. 38.5. All right, so we are scanning Nmap with Nmap using default scripts and finding service versions. And nmap is called network mapper, and we use it for enumerating targets that we don't know anything about. In this case, we just want to know very quickly. And after that, I also do this one to see if there is anything else. Now I'm scanning all TCP ports. I'm not even scanning UDP ports yet, but I'm scanning all TCP ports. But as you can see, we already have port 22 open and port 8080. And it's Apache Tomcat. This is from -SV service version. So we have Tomcat here. Tomcat does have a lot of vulnerabilities out there, so we can actually look for that later. My scan for all ports finished as well. Looks like we don't have any more ports other than these two, so this is going to be good. Port 8080. Let's check that. The reason why I'm skipping port 22 is because usually there is no vulnerabilities on 22. I haven't seen much, especially for CTFs. But let's start with 8080. Open a browser. In this case, I'll just open Firefox. Let's see. By the way, let's check our detection to see if we actually detected anything when we ran nmap. This is our security onion. So let's see if we detected anything by just running nmap here. Yeah, so you notice that we have nmap scripting engine here. This is detected every time you run a network scan, nmap on a network. You're going to get caught. In this case, of course, if you drill down, you will notice that here's nmap scripting engine scanning the whole system. No, this looks like the earlier one. Let me see if there's a newer one. Let's drill down on this one. All right, so this is the correct one. You see, source IP, that's Kali Linux, going to destination IP, our victim machine that we just scanned with nmap. So as you can see, nmap gets caught. This is an intrusion detection system, of course. It will pick up default scripts from nmap and let us know that nmap is scanning our network. So don't do that. You get caught easily, as you can see here. So let's proceed, of course, because nmap gets caught. We were going to check port 8080. 5. All right, here is our Apache Tomcat. Sup, Willie Walker and Juniper. It's good to see you guys. We are attacking this machine from Vulnhub today, and we have an exploit. It looks like, because we have a Tomcat which is running here. Let's run Dirtbuster against this thing. Or Go Buster. Which one do we want? Let's see. Go Buster. I'll use medium.txt. Let's see what we have on that side. And as we run Go Buster as well, it will get picked up by an intrusion detection system, in this case Security Onion. So I'll be able to show you what that looks like if you haven't seen it. .5. Let's pass some directories and see what's going to happen here. Whoa. Of course it's going to fail. I need to specify my port 8080. There's nothing on. Alright, so we're busting some directories, as you can see. And we see docs, examples, manager. This is all the things, the directories that are running on our port 8 on our system right here. And while GoBuster is running, let's check Apache Tomcat. You can use Stratus Exploit for this. Let's see if there are any known exploits for Tomcat. Stratus Exploit. Oh, no results. Maybe without that. Let's see. So exploit, come on, find something. Maybe my version is too specific, so I'll remove the version. Otherwise, we can also use Google here. Whoa. Yeah. There's a whole lot of exploits for Tomcat. And our version, in this case, it tells us here 9.40. Maybe it's just 9. Yeah, so we do see that we have we have these two betas. Upload bypass, I don't know about those ones. All right. So Tomcat is not promising us anything. Let's go back to our DirtBuster results and see what we are actually doing there. Oh, I still see manager here. All right. So as we run DirtBuster, let's go and check. Remember, we are brute forcing some directories on a website that is behind an intrusion detection system. So as we attack this website, we should be able to see this traffic that is attacking the website right here in Security Onion. And this is the most important thing. I mean, attacking is fun. Detecting, that's where the money is at, because everyone wants to be able to detect things. You want to know what's happening. Oh, look at that. So from our Security Onion, we see that we have Apache Stratus rate vulnerabilities that has been identified. Well, from the attacker's perspective, we didn't see this yet. But Security Onion, of course, already picked it up. Let's search for that. What I like to do when I search for this is I like to look for GitHub results. So this, we know because we have an intrusion detection system that picked it. Using Suricata, because we are actually attacking in this case. And we can actually check it out in a little bit here. But right now, if we look by count, we can see that we have a lot here that we're getting detected a lot, including our GoBuster. So let's keep this exploit in mind as we attack. Let's go back to our victim machine, our Kali Linux. All right, GoBuster finished. We have /manager. Let's go to the manager. This is how we will probably identify the Stratus thing. All right, so Tomcat 4999. Let's check the other one. Examples. I'm just checking the directories that we found here. No. Then we have such docs. Just normal Tomcat docs. So it looks like DirtBuster didn't give us much either. How about we try one more tool Let's see if I have it in here. Do I have Nikto? All right. Let me run Nikto against this target. Let me find quick commands for running Nikto against this target. Nikto is another tool that we can run against it to see if we can actually get any directories. And in this case, let's just remove this. It's Nikto -H. Let me see if I can find anything interesting here. Nikto is supposed to find any vulnerabilities that we might have. In this case, it will actually find if there is anything interesting as well. So we're just running all of our tools here to make sure that everything works. Hi Spencer, it's good to see you, man. Thanks for joining. All right, so as you can see with our Nikto, we are able to see a few things here. All right. We have these examples. All right. So now that this is running, let's go back and actually just use the one that we found earlier from our security onion. We'll be able to pick it with Nikto, but I don't want to waste time there. So we'll try this Stratus exploit. And the way we can test it is let's go and see if we actually have something like this. Do we have this directory here? Dearbuster should have picked it up, but since it didn't, we should be able to verify that we actually have it before we start running our exploit. Let's do that. It's not showing up. Let me make sure that I'm checking the right one. Oh, wait a second. Yeah, this should give me... This should be the correct URL. Otherwise, we can test it as well to make sure that it works. Nikto is going to go through every single thing and it should give us the CVE that we found, but let's let that one run. Let me test one more time to make sure that we actually have it. Actually, no. It's not that one. It's this one. It's the showcase.action. Not the other one. So it's rest showcase. Where is that site? All right. Let me see what Nikto finds here as well. Make sure that we actually see something interesting. We have these allowed methods here, HTTP methods, which are okay. But why not try this one? let me make sure that that's the correct exploit before I run it. Make sure I don't get stuck with the wrong one here. According to this here, oh, there is 5638. Is that the correct one? All right, I'm going to try it anyway. So let's go to my machines. All right. So if I do an ls here, I have this one, which is the same as this exploit here. If I had just cloned it, so what we can do is just do a git clone for this repo, and that should give us the same effect. And in this case, they are saying, let's see if we have a different one that looks exactly like that one. I just want to see the usage, which it should show us, but oh, this is interesting. You can just test that command works with echo. So what I like to do is I like to look at the same exploit from different people to see how they're actually running it. Then I can come up with my own. All right, I think I bought enough time. Let's check our Nikto again. We're still going. All right. All right, so back in here, I'm just going to run this, the Stratus exploit first. So since it's a Python, what I do is that -h. I'm asking it like, hey, how do I run this? -u. That's going to be our URL in this case. And then let me see. Let's go back here. Show you what the correct command here. This one. That way it saves you some time from watching me type. So I'm running the same one, and this is the correct syntax to do that. So the first part is I'm going to try to run this command ID. So this is a command injection exploit in this case. ID fails with an error, which is interesting. So let's go and check it again. It's because I don't have the right port, probably. Yes. So I didn't have the right port here. So even though it seems like I'm getting some errors, I do have command injection through this Stratus vulnerability that we found earlier. And with command injection, what it means is that we are running commands directly on our system. And in this case, it's giving me the results for ID. Let's see if there is Python on the system. An error. Is there Python 3? Yes. So the system is running Python 3. Right here, we can just choose maybe to get a reverse shell, since we can execute commands directly using this struts vulnerability. We should be able to just use any reverse shell that we want here, and should be able to work. So let's try first with netcat. Maybe we should be able to see. I have my cheat sheet for reverse shells here, depending on which one I'm running. I'm not in Windows, but if I were running on Windows, this is what I'll do. Python. This is Python 3. And I want a reverse shell. So I would have to go to here. Let's see. Do I have a Python socket for Python 3? Because usually this is what I would run. But since I have Python 3, let's see what I can do here. Let's go to our reverse shells. Oh, no, not that one. Let me see if I will be able to. Let me go to Pentest Monkey and see if I have a Python 3 reverse shell. This will be my first time. So this is where I usually shop for my reverse shells. And as you can see, it literally says Python 2.7. Alright, let me start with netcat. Then if netcat fails, we'll go to Python and we'll figure out how to do it with Python 3, because I haven't done it before. Let's start with netcat. So instead of saying which Python, I would like to just get a reverse shell to my system here. Where to paste that? I would like to put my IP address for my Kali 192.168.38.10. So we're saying, hey, netcat, give us shell on 192.168.38.10 on 1234. Let's split this. Then let's just do this. Netcat minus LV and P 1234. So we'll listen here and we'll try to get a shell from there. Let's see if this works. There we go. Alex, what's up, man? We are just trying to get a shell here using this exploit. So of course this is not working because invalid minus E. There is a way around this that I've done on Hack the Box. So if netcat doesn't have minus E, we can actually put that minus E in the temp folder, then pipe it to netcat and it should still work. So as you can see, if I try it again, netcat is not working because netcat is missing minus E, which is not a problem. So good for you. You get to see a little trick for using netcat today, and I will show you here. So instead of that, let's delete everything here, and then I'll quickly fix this so we can actually move on. So the first part is we need to use make node, and I'll just copy this here. I have this in my notes. If we do make node and put backpipe in the temp folder like that. All right, so the file says it exists. It shouldn't exist in yours. I already did this one. Then I should be able now to, let's do 1 2 3 4 again. So instead of using -E, I would do this. Let's go here. I'll do this instead, and I'll explain what I'm doing. So I created in the backpipe with P in the temp folder. Second, I will have to say, hey, bin sh. I'll point it to that one first, the one that I just created because I'm missing -E. Then I'll run netcat. I'll pipe that to netcat. In this case, to my IP address on 192.132.1.234. And in this case, I'm saying 1. At first, I did 0. Let's see if this one will work. All right, so that worked. If you're curious, like what just happened there, if you run netcat on a system and you're missing -E, this is what you do. And I've done that before. And then write in your notes, hey, I need first create in your temp folder the backpipe. Then second, pipe that backpipe to netcat. You will get a shell. In this case, we did, as you can see here. Let's stabilize this shell. We know the system is running Python 3, so we'll use Python 3 to stabilize the shell. And let's export so that I can clear my screen. All right. ls -la. So we are in. So if you're curious what just happened there, I think this is really cool. I would put it in your notes if you haven't. First, if you don't have -E, it's not the end of the world. It's a simple fix. So now that we are in, we use the Stratus Exploit vulnerability that you should be able to find on the system. Now we are in the system. Let's see. So we're still running Nicto here. Nicto will find the struts, by the way. That's how I was able to find. So Nicto will find it after a long time. Let's just bring this one up here for now. So ls -la to see what's going on in here. Do we have any interesting things? I have user.txt. Try your best. You have passed the first challenge, and the last one is for you. Root me. So we got the first flag here. Let's see if we can get root on this system. I don't know what velocity.log is, but that looks interesting. I also see that for the first time, you'll notice that we have Mozilla Firefox. Usually if systems don't have Mozilla, in Windows, if you have Mozilla, it's definitely worth checking the Firefox for passwords, because Firefox is a vulnerability for passwords. So if you are attacking a Windows machine and you see Mozilla Firefox, always go to the user location, find if you can grab the user's password, because right now we got in using a reverse shell. We might have passwords in here. Next, let's check the bash history. Bash history, this is where the commands are saved if the user before ran commands. And unlike a lot of systems that we have attacked on this channel before, this time we actually do have history, which is interesting. So let's go through this history line by line and figure out what's up with this person. So they ran everything with sudo, which shows me that this user somehow has sudo privileges because they are running things with sudo. That's a good takeaway right away. They enables cron, the cron service, which is fine. They rebooted the system. They installed Firefox. So we now know, even if you didn't see it in the hidden directory, you now know that they installed Firefox. And I said, every time you see Firefox or Chrome, these third-party services are installed, make sure to check them because they capture people's passwords. They rebooted after installing Chrome. They ran taskcell. Then they ran this. So we can actually run these commands as this user. And they also installed that. But look what they also ended up doing. They ended up going to Mozilla. They went to Firefox. And this is how they installed the struts thing. in velocity, or I don't know what velocity is, so I'll start with that. Then I'll check the other stuff. Okay, so those are the logs, whatever that is. So it looks like they changed the user's password as well. What were they doing in Mozilla? I'm just following their steps. They went in Firefox. All right. So in here, as you can see in Firefox, if you check, you will notice that we have this directory here and this directory here. And one thing about browsers is that browsers do save people's passwords. You know, people, when they are logging into things, browsers save passwords and things like that. So what might end up happening here is one of these things might have a password. And if you research Firefox, you will notice that one of these files, let's see if I can just download one of these files, or all of them. Python 3 -m http. How do I start my .server? 8081. All right, so I want to download all these files here, all of them, to my local Kali Linux machine. That's what I'm doing here. But I would like it to be in machines. I like it to be in blueSky. To get HTTP 192.168.38.5. I'm on port 8081. The reason why I'm using 8081 is port 8080 is my default port, and usually what happens is, if the same port is being used already, of course you cannot host your server there. I could have used port 80, but I like port 8081 here. This will get everything from that system in that directory. If I do an ls, I now have interesting. Wait a minute. Wait a second. wget -r. Okay, now we did it. Now I have a directory. It's an ugly name, but hey, that's our directory here. Here is everything from Firefox. So every time you see the Firefox browser, you want to grab everything that's in there. Awesome. Thank you. All right, so now that I grabbed everything from the Firefox directory, all I need to do now is see if I can grab any passwords from Firefox. So this is an exploit within Firefox, where if you have Firefox, you can actually grab some passwords from it. So let me see if I can show you the link, because I already have Firefox decrypt here. Let me see if I can just reverse this. Here is a tool that you can use from Git that will decrypt Firefox passwords. And in this case, all you need to do is run Python Firefox decrypt py against the folder that contains profiles.ini. So in this case, I have everything from the Firefox. So all I need to do is run that. So if you want, clone this repo and have your Firefox decrypt.py from there. There's a ton of them out there. This will go and look for any passwords within Firefox and grab them for you. That's what we're doing here. So let's see, where is my system? So I'll go in here. Here's my Firefox decrypt.py. So let's actually just run that. In this case, I'll just do Python. I think I have Python 3 here on my Kali. Do I? I think I do. Yeah. Do I also have Python 2? Yeah. So I'm running both. Python, I think this is 3. Firefox decrypt.py, and actually let's run it from here. Let's just do this. Python 3, and this time I would like to run it against Firefox decrypt.py, like that. So what I'm doing is I'm calling Python 3 to run this script here, and I would like it to run it against this directory because that's what I have, right? Let's see if there are any passwords within that Firefox directory. So this is another cool tool that we're learning from today. If there are any Firefox, Google Chrome, I think there is another tool as well that you can use with Google Chrome to decrypt. I don't know how long this is going to take, but while this is decrypting our password, let's go and check out our security onion and see, because remember we are attacking and detecting at the same time. So we should have a lot of traffic here. A lot of things have happened. We gained a reverse shell, and this is the alerts section. As you can see, we have nmap here. It looks like we downloaded an executable. This is what the good guys will be seeing from everything that we have done so far. Here's a command execution. Let's check this one out. I think this is the one that catches us when you get our reverse shell. And you need to get familiar with this. Let's see. Okay, so this is correct. This is our Kali Linux going to our victim machine, but this is going to port 8080. So what could that be? All right, so this is GoBuster. I can tell. This is GoBuster. So if you're a security analyst, this is what you'll be looking at, and you should be able to. Actually, not GoBuster. It's Nikto. I'm saying GoBuster. This is Nikto. So as you can see, Nikto got caught. Let's see if I go to my hunt interface here. Let's see if I can see my reverse shell. I don't want to event by module. Let's see by rule. Here. I think this is again the same one from Nikto. Yeah, it's Nikto, not let's hunt for that. You know what? Forget this interface. Let's go here. This is the same data, just looking it through Kibana versus the security onion interface. Let me look at Suricata rules, because I think Suricata does a better job. Zik also does a good job, but Suricata is really on point. This should give us all the events. As you can see, I have 1,000 events here. And here they're actually set in a nice way to read. Here's our struts. Let me look at 10 here. Oh, Tomcat admin credentials and Easter eggs. All right, so what I'm looking at is I'm looking at what we have already done. And in this case, I see using wget. This is the first time that I'm looking at this data. As you can see, we have Nicto web app scan in progress. So my Nicto is still running in the background. Of course, our intrusion detection system is telling us right now somebody is running Nicto because it's still running. And all this is from the default scripts that we have already picked. I was hoping to see the data, but I'll be showing you in a little bit. Okay, so our Firefox is still running. It's probably decrypting in the background. Depending on how long this takes, we can actually let it run, because that's a very important password. We need to find that password from the Firefox data that we are getting. So let's see. It's running against those two files, this one and this one. And those are where are those files? Oh, I'm hosting a Python HTTP server. This is what I downloaded. How do I exit here without killing my shell? I guess we're killing the shell. I'll start my listener again. And good thing is I still have my I still have my command here, so I should be able to get it back right there. All right, let's stabilize the shell again. Use these two. It's Python 3. Now I'm able to come back here. All right, so the most important thing that we're waiting for is for Firefox to let us know if it finds any user in here and if there's any password. But of course, I didn't select a profile. Which one should I choose? Let's start with one. I don't know which one. What do you mean? I guess it's two then. No password. All right, so that was quick. I was just waiting, and I didn't see that it's asking me to select the profile. So as you can see, we did find a user's password from Firefox. This is the username. Here is the password. So what did we learn here? Maybe make sure that Firefox doesn't save your passwords, or run the latest the newest version of Firefox. Update your browsers. Your browser can leak credentials like here. So what can I do here? Let me split this screen vertically here. Remember, we have the SSH service that's running, right? So let's SSH is this user with these credentials and see if we can get in. .38.5. Yes, we would like to save that. So here's our password that we got from Firefox. All right, so this worked. You might be curious, why did I bother to SSH instead of just reusing the same terminal that I have here? It's the same deal. I could have just kept using this one. The one with SSH is more stable. I like it better. And I can do things like sudo -l. Remember, I saw that this user was running a bunch of sudo commands from their history. So they should have sudo permissions. And here's their password. They have sudo permissions because they were running a bunch of sudo commands. Let's verify. And this is not super fun, but when you see something like this, that means this person has rights to do anything on the system. So we can do a sudo su, and as you can see, we became root, which is not the most exciting way to privilege escalate, but in this case, hey, this user does have those privileges, so why not? All right, so it's kind of like a buzzkill when you see this. You expect a little bit more fun and challenge, right? But hey, this is what we have. We did learn a few things today. Tomcat is notorious for being vulnerable. We saw Firefox today in our Ubuntu machine. I've seen Firefox in Windows. That's usually where I get these files from. An attack like what we just did here, but today of course it was in Ubuntu, which is fine. So next order of business, now that we got root, is let's really spend some time understanding what we just did here. What did we do, and what would the good guys see? I would like to open logs for Zik and some for Suricata, because these are these two here, Zik and Suricata, we use them for network intrusion detection. And what happens is they use predefined rules to detect if traffic is going to be moving across a network. And then if that traffic matches the rules that we have defined, it will flag it with the right message and everything. And that's exactly what we were doing here. As I was attacking this machine, I was sniffing this traffic. In this case, this lab right here, you see right there where there's a cloud in the back, that's where my lab is. I was using a network tab to sniff all the traffic. And we did see a lot of things. Let's look at the Stratus plugin vulnerability here. Let's see what we did with the Stratus and see if it actually worked. First, if I saw this on my network, I'll start thinking there's a system that is running Stratus and it's under attack. It's under attack from, in this case, the source IP is 192.168.30.10. That's Kali Linux. And this is a system that's under attack on port 8080. And in this case, what was happening? Network.data.decoded will show me what was happening here. Hopefully, I'll be able to see what was happening in real time. Let me expand here. Oh, look what happens here. We can see, remember we got our reverse shell using a Python script from the internet, from Git. Oh, well, we actually got caught. This is what that script was doing. It ran this command, the backpipe. Remember I created the backpipe on my command line. It actually saw and captured the actual commands that I was running. In this case, this is the backpipe command in netcat. So you can then grab this and write your report and say, this is what the attacker did on my network. Or if you are looking at this, you'll be like, wow, this is terrible. Of course, because someone is remote code execution on your systems. And as you can see, this is when we ran those commands. But we did get caught multiple times on that Stratus thing though. Not just once. it was a lot of logs were generated by that just one alert. And let me show you what that looks like here with a count. Thirty events were generated for what we were doing during the process of running that scan. And if you open any of them, they should all tell the same story, that someone was running remote commands on our system. As you can see here, it's the same deal. So you can confirm with confidence that someone is running remote commands on your systems. And then if you want to learn more about this, also go and check the rule that created this. This is also another interesting thing, because the next part of this is we can take this further by creating our own rules for detection, which will make this lab even more fun. This is how the rules are generated. And Spencer, if you're still here, I think we spoke about this last time, how we generate the snort rules. This is a suricata rule. It's the same deal. It's an alert for HTTP, any coming in on any port. And in this case, this is the message that we'll look for. If we see flows that match this type of behavior here, and our flow did match, the attacker could have done better by hiding this payload data so that it wasn't transmitted in plain text because it was in HTTP. Maybe by sending this as base64 and then decoding on the victim's system. That way, maybe try to evade the intrusion detection systems, or maybe do better than just sending the plain text. But this is the rule that fired and caught us as we were doing our reverse shell. Going back, let's check for something interesting as well. Nmap is not fun. Yeah, that won't work. This is a false positive. Oh, this was an attempt, probably from one of my scripts here. Tomcat brute force. We actually tried brute force. Who was trying brute force? I'm actually with you here. I'm trying to find out what really triggered that brute force. Who was trying brute force? Auth brute force? Was it an nmap scan? Who was trying to brute force for authentication? Which tool? This is the rail data. Oh, Nikto. So Nikto does all the work for us. And by the way, what happened to Nikto? Nikto is still running. All right. Good morning. All right. So here is another bonus. If you stuck around with us this long, I think we should be able to see. After poking around with this machine, I also found out that there's another way, other than the way that I did it here. There was another way where we could have gotten a reverse shell using Metasploit, for example. Or let's see, if we were stuck on this terminal here, we could have abused Tomcat, because Tomcat is notorious for abuse. So what we could have done is we could have looked for this file. This is the Tomcat local file, and I'm just doing bonus material here. Then we can also check to see if it gets detected. Oh, so if we cat this, this is the Tomcat file, that is the default configuration file. You would have to read on Tomcat to know that. If we cat that file, it will give you the admin credentials. And this is where things get interesting, right? Why do we want admin credentials? I think it was on the slash manager. So here's the administrator, the Tomcat administrator password. Just in case Firefox didn't give us anything, we could have gone this way. Was it manager? Let me see. Where did our results end up? Yeah, manager /HTML. That's HTML. Why is that not working? I thought this pops up a manager page. Is this slash admin? Right here, let's just look at our GoBuster, because this is the second one. Let me see if I still have my GoBuster results here. Yeah, it's slash manager. So we should have a login page for Tomcat here. In this case, I can see it. Anyway, now that we know we can get the credentials from within the Tomcat login page right here, you should be able to sign in to the Tomcat manager as admin. And once you sign in as admin, you should be able to upload a reverse shell, which is the classic Tomcat exploit. It is usually a .war file. I've done that a lot, more than 3 times so far, both from Hack the Box. Offensive Security Labs is another Tomcat lab that does that as well. Hack the Box is a machine that does that. I think I might have a video showing that as well. So just know that if you go to that location, you can get the default credentials and then go to the slash manager page to sign in. And that's about it. I see Jennifer says, I'm starting to see that the nmap scans are all you need to see and be aware on Security Onion. Yeah, in Security Onion, you notice that, of course, the nmap scans will show up, a lot of them. You need to just forget about those ones. Usually good attackers don't run nmap scans the way we're doing by default. They try to hide their attacks. They'll probably do half scans. They will probably run smarter scans than these ones that are getting caught. So yeah, it can be interesting to look at things within Security Onion. Alright, so if you haven't, please like this video so everyone can know that this is good stuff. And then also subscribe to my channel if you like this type of content. Otherwise, I'll wait here for a few minutes to see if anyone has any questions. And while I wait, I'll also show you more interesting things from Security Onion. One of my favorite things that I always show when I do this is the fact that you can pull PCAP. And the most important thing about PCAP is that you will be working with PCAP, say, at work as a security analyst. So being able to pull PCAP and read PCAP in maybe Wireshark is a good idea. So this system gives us that ability to test and actually look at PCAP in an interesting way. So for example, let's see, what can we pull PCAP off? Let's list more things here. So here is all the noise that was generated. You don't want to see all this. And if you notice here, it's mostly Suricata which is picking. Zik is not seeing anything in my case here, which is interesting. All right, let's see who was looking for these credentials here. So let's just drill down on this one. Right, we can come in here and try to read and say, oh, who was looking at that? That was Nikto. Okay, what does this look like in pickup format? Because sometimes people will give you pickup, right? If you click show pickup here, this will generate pickup on Security Onion, and this will actually give you pickup like that. And what you want to do is come here and download that file, and then let's open that, of course, in Wireshark. Then you can now spend some time practicing your Wireshark commands as well, which will be very, very fun, I think. So here's what we got from our system. As you can see which two systems were communicating: our victim machine and our other machine. And if you wanted to really then learn how to drill down on a specific service or look for something specific in here, then you can just do it that way. This is my Wireshark. Of course, it's color coded to whatever I chose here. In this case, HTTP traffic is color coded yellow. Yeah. So Jennifer says, I just configured my Apache Lab, and ideas. Once you configure it on VM, you can see a bigger overview of network. Yes, that is awesome, bro. Good job, man. Yeah, so if you want to set up a lab like the one that I have here, that is giving you this, I do have 10 or 12 videos where I show you how to set up a lab that actually will teach you really important things, like really fun things. If you find this to be super exciting, like, I mean, I find this to be exciting. You can deploy a full network that mimics a small office, like a doctor's office or a small company with 50 employees, and actually sniff traffic. This is where the fun is. And if you can have a lot of fun doing this, you can have a lot of fun at work, whether you are an analyst or if you're the security engineer or if you're just the security person, the only security person. And I do have 12 videos that will show you how to deploy this. It's super easy. Security Onion is open source, so it's 100% free. Well, you have to set it up. Then, of course, you can set up a network tap or port mirroring. It doesn't matter whichever way you do it. That works. All right, I think we have seen a lot here, and we've looked at our traffic. I didn't see. Oh, wait a second. Let's look at Zik to see if we see anything here. As you can see, my Zik is not seeing anything. This is what used to be called Bro. As you can see, I don't have much here. So it's mostly Surikara. I encourage you to set up this lab for yourself so you can look at this. Otherwise, I think this was fun. Nice change of scenery. So if you want to see more of this, stop by next week, same time, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'll be also attacking a machine from TryHackMe, the newest one that is not yet, we're not allowed to attack it yet live, but sometime this week I'll be doing that. Otherwise, thanks very much for being here, and I'll see you next weekend. Thanks.